Hello everyone, welcome to this video. I took a break from doing AG104 series of videos, but on popular demand I have decided to come back. So in November I redid all of this. Okay, then these are the ones that are still remaining. So today we're gonna work on manage the Azure storage, and because of the nice work from home situation, you may see some background noise here and there. Please ignore and focus on the lab. So this lab is interesting, and a really nice thing that these set of videos from Microsoft Learning they have created really nice architecture diagrams. So if you look at the overall what we're going to do the lab, here's the task. So you're going to create a container for the resource group. In that resource group, you're going to create a virtual network with 10.70.00/22, really large network. You're going to take a slice of it, create a subnet 0 with 10.70.00/24. In that one, you're going to create a virtual machine. Now, the reason you're creating is most likely you are going to be accessing your network share from inside this virtual machine only. You want to restrict that. And task 2 looks like you will be creating another resource container, and then we'll probably be creating the storage account, and the container will create some share. We'll browse private window, do some stuff, upload some document to the container. So let's get back to the lab. So first of all, you need a account, and I'm already logged into my account. So what we'll do here, let me bring this one and make this. I want to put this side by side if I can. So let me do this and do this. So we have the lab document on my left and my Azure environment to the right. Okay. So what we'll do, go to the Cloud Shell. Try to follow the lab as closely as possible. So Cloud Shell, you will come there, uh, and it should show up in here, a Cloud Shell right there. If you have like the full expanded version, it's right there because mine was collapsed. I had to click on this ellipsis icon and then Cloud Shell, and it will bring up the Cloud Shell at the bottom. Now, if it usually asks for either bash or the partial, partial is typically the default one, and right now it's in the bash. So the black background is typically the bash. If you, for whatever reason, in the bash, click on that and change to parcel and hit confirm, and that's all you need to do. Okay. So you're done with this. The next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna upload one of the ARM template that is gonna create this whole thing for us. Now, where do you get this? You're gonna get this under all files labs 07. So you come up here, you go to instructions. Let's just come over here. Uh, Back labs. Let me go back. Make sure we were at the right path. Go here one more time. Okay, we gotta go to uh, all files labs 07. Let me just make that a little bit bigger again. So we gotta go to all files. Okay, all files labs 07 is the one, and you need both of them. Okay, template digestion and the parameter digestion. I want to download both of them. Click on the raw and save as, say, desktop AZ104, and go back, and I'm also gonna get the parameter file. Okay, to raw and then save. One thing that I highly recommend that you always should do, the what are there in these two files. So first of all, in this parameter file, the thing that you're looking at, let me make it big, it's got a schema. Okay, that is default. Okay, it's a content version that is also required. then you are passing some parameter, and the VM size is a parameter, and you want to use standard DS2v3, and admin username is going to be the student, and your admin password is going to be passw.rd1234. Okay, that is what you're going to be passing. Now let's look at the other one real quick as well. This one I'm expecting a little bit bigger, and this one make it a little bit smaller. Again, it has got the same schema, content version. uh, Here some parameters are already in here as well. Okay, so it's saying, okay, your VM type, okay, type default is this. If nothing is passed, they're going to use this, the default, as a default value. Admin username, again, it's going to come from the parameter file. So these are the parameter files going to come. So if the VM size is not provided from the parameter file, it's going to use this. But admin username, you have to come from the parameter file, because there's nothing, no default is there. Admin password. Another thing, you are making it a secure string. So when somebody is entering, it will not be shown. So these are your parameter section. The next is the variable section. The variable are things that can be reused within your code. So your VM name, your NIC, your virtual network name, public IP address name, NSG, VNet IP prefix, which is /22, subnet prefix /24, subnet name, and then subnet reference. Okay. And the reference would be resource ID, Microsoft Network, virtual network subnets, variables, virtual network name, variables, subnet name. Okay. A lot of this is you can reuse this kind of codes. Okay, now this is the resource that you're going to create. So what you're going to create is a virtual machine. There is a type, there is a required, and the name is going to come from the variable VM name, so it will pick up this name. Okay, and then what is going to happen is going to happen, you're going to provide the API name, and it depends on what your virtual machine depends on a NIC card. So it's telling you that it depends on the NIC. Now you are providing some properties. What is the operating system that you want? Computer name, variables VM name, admin username, admin password, Windows configuration, provision VMHN. All of that you are configuring. Hardware profile is VM size. Storage profile. Your VM needs a storage, uh, some storage. And over here, your image reference, publisher is Microsoft Windows Server, offer is Windows Server, SKU, Windows 2019 Data Center, latest version of it. Now, so what you're really doing, these are all reusable code, and you can change any of that to meet your own requirement. Okay, so once that is done, here you are doing another one. You're gonna need the virtual network. Okay, the virtual network, you're also providing the virtual IP prefix, and you're also configuring your subnet. But look at that, you're reusing the name, like the anytime you're using the variables are actually defined up here. Here, so here you are referencing those variables. Okay, let's see. So your virtual network is done. Your virtual network interface is done. Okay, now public IP address done. These are all the resources that the NSG is then the next thing that you're deploying. So these are, so what you have done in this ARM template, you have created everything that you need to deploy your environment that is available here in this diagram. Let me go to back to the architecture diagram again. So if you look at this diagram, so all of that stuff, everything that is contained here, you have done that using ARM template, and that's the beauty of infrastructure as code. You can also use Terraform, and I have a whole bunch of videos where uh, I have done demonstration how you do that. You welcome to look at those. And sometime I might be even convert this whole ARM template to a Terraform template. But for today, let's go back to our lab. So what we'll do, we are going to upload these templates over here. What we'll do here is the upload, download button. I'm going to click on the upload, and AZ104, I'm going to upload both of them, the parameter, okay, and it says upload completed, and then click there again, click on upload, and the parameter, I'm going to get both of them. So both of them should be here. If I do a dir, uh, it's here. Okay, it's just not showing very nicely, so let me just do it one more time. Maybe ls. Yeah, ls is just going to give you, this is the JSON and parameter JSON. Both of them are here in my cloud shell environment. Okay, so we are here. So here what they're asking, we are going to define some Azure regions. Okay, so what we will do to list the name of the Azure regions, we just need to choose one region. So let's do this to location. Okay, so dollar location, there is going to be a variable. Let's call it East US. Okay, that is the location we want to choose. And resource group, we can use whatever they have given us, and just paste it and hit enter. There you go. And so next, this command, new as a resource group, is going to create then the resource group in this particular location that we just told. Okay, so copy, paste, and hit enter. So it should create a new resource group which is AZ10407RG0. So over here in the portal, if I try to go to the resource group, that resource group better show up. It takes a minute to show up, since you see it's not there, but I will refresh. I bet it will show up in like in a minute or so. Just give it a minute. You can see it's still not showed up. I'm going to continue to the next one while this is still going on. The resource is created again. There's a little bit of lag between your portal and your CLI. So we'll try that one more time, and now it's right there. So we are really done with this step. And the next step, you're going to deploy those templates in this particular resource group. All you need to do is copy and paste. And what it is doing is going to do a new AZ resource group deployment. You're going to use the resource group that you created, the template that we have provided, that's the VM template, and the parameters are going to come from the parameter.json file. And that's all. And it's a very standard command. So, and it's going to run as a job. That means it's running in the background, and it gave you the prompt back. And that's about it. So we have really completed the exercise one, then task one, which is provisioning the lab environment. The next thing that we need to do is create and configure the Azure Storage account. Okay, now let's give it a second, and we'll make sure that its deployment is good, and then we'll start the lab. So inside this resource group, we'll soon see that there are things that will show up, like other resources will show up. All right, everyone. So if we look at my resource group now, it deployed everything that I needed: my VNet, my disk, my virtual machine, public IP, and the network security group, uh, and the network interface card as well. And if you want to go inside the virtual network, you probably see subnet 0. If you go to the subnets, here's my subnet 0, and it's got an IP from this private network, my virtual machine. So let's come back over here to task 2. In this task, we're going to create Azure Storage account. So go back over here and create a resource. Let's look for our storage account. So you can just type over here as well. That's I do a lot of times. Just click on the storage account and hit create. And we first of all, we're going to choose a resource group. Let's see what is the resource group. So let's choose the one as for the lab. Okay, and the name has to be globally unique. So test 89054 test. This is going to be the resource name, and there are some restriction. It has to be between 3 and 24 in length, consisting letters and digits. And then location, just keep with the east west location, and we're going to go with the standard performance and the GRS. So this is the default. Okay, now click on the advanced. Okay, so click on the advanced, and of the create, review the options and accept the default. So we are not changing anything here. You can enable the account key access, enable blob public access. This a lot of times I disable this in my environment because I don't like this. Minimum TLS is 1.2. It's not gonna be a data lake storage. SSH files as far as something a very new feature. Blob storage NFS, a new feature. We're gonna go with the standard options. So hit the networking. Okay. On the networking tab, review the available option, accept the default option, which is the public endpoint. Again, this is something I don't typically use, but for this lab, we're gonna go with the default options. Hit the data protection. On the data protection um, of the create storage plan, review the available option, accept the again over here. I'm just gonna take the default options. So they have soft delete for blobs enabled. Soft delete for containers is enabled. Soft delete for files here, they're also enabled. Okay, so we're just going to go with the default option. And then on the deployment plate, click go to resource. Let's see. And here you can just click on create because we don't care about the tags for this particular lab and hit create. Okay, and it shouldn't take more than 2 minutes for the storage account to be created if the name is unique. If the name is not unique, it's gonna complain. Excuse me. Now it's deploying, and you see there's three dots. They're kind of going, and here's the storage account. It's everything got accepted right here, and in a minute you will see that storage account will be ready. Okay, and you can read through some other stuff. Here's the click or go to resource. You can go from any of them. Let's click from here. So that is going to take me to the storage account. Okay, on the deployment, go to resource. That's what we did. On the storage account plate in the data management section. So data storage. We're going to click on Geo Replication and note that secondary location. Okay, where is my Geo Replication? Data management, and click on Geo Replication. And if you do that, note the secondary location. So if you look over here, since we have deployed the US, East US as the primary, and we have chosen geo replication, automatically your West US has become the secondary location. Okay, so you don't have to do anything. It will automatically everything is configured for you. The next thing that we're gonna do on the storage account plan in the settings section, click configuration. So here's the settings section. Click on configuration, and in the replication drop down list select LRS and save. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna change our replication settings. So let's see over here, replication right now it's RAGRS. We're gonna change that to LRS. Okay, and then we're gonna save it. I'm sorry. So since we change that geo replication to locally redundant, it does not have any more geo replication. So if we go back over to Geo Replication tab, you should not see it. You see the secondary location is now gone. Okay, this is more cheaper option. But if you really need the Geo Replication, you should keep it. Now we have reviewed that. So the next thing we're going to look at is display again the configuration plate and set the blob access to cool. Okay, so the blob, they can have many different type of configuration. So let's go back to our configuration. What is our configuration? Um, of the storage account, set the blob access tier to default. Okay, so configuration, blob access tier, blob access tier. Okay, default. What do you need? So you can read this. uh, the hot access is ideal for frequently accessed data, and the cool access tier is ideal for infrequently accessed data. So by default everything is hot, which is a little bit more expensive. So you want to change that to cool as per the lab. And cool access tier is optimal for data which is not accessed frequently. That's as whatever it said over here as well. Again, you hit save, and that's about it. So you have optimized your storage account as per the lab requirement. The next thing we're going to do is manage the lab storage. So in this storage account blade, in the data storage section, so again, data management, and look for data storage is right there. Click on containers, that's where everything begins. And we're going to create a container first. So we click container, and we'll take the container name as per the lab, and we're going to use the private, no anonymous access. Okay, and hit create. Okay, so that in the list of containers, click on AZ104 container. So here is the container, and then what you're gonna do, you're gonna click on upload, and that should lead you the upload window. It's very similar to like you're uploading file to Google, attaching a file, things like that. Over here, we're gonna download another file, which will be all files labs 07 license. So let's just go back over here. We gotta go to all files 07 license. This is the file that we want to download. So save and AZ104. So let's just put that here and go back to the lab again. Okay, so we were here, we were going to upload. Where are we? We are we have done that. Here is where we are. Okay, and we'll select the file now, license, and hit open. And where are we? And open, and then on the upload blob plate, expand the advanced, expand it, and specify the following setting. Okay, so over here, blob type is gonna be blob, that is the default. Block size 4 MB is good. Access tier, although we said everything is should be cool by default, I can still change it to hot. Okay, at the upload time. And upload folder is licenses, so it's going to create a folder inside our container that I created. Okay, and that's all I need. uh, Everything else, just keep it the same. Hit upload, and it said upload completed. So you see here, it created this license folder, right? So back in that container plane, okay, you see the license. If I now click on the licenses plate, here is the license file. Now on the license blade, okay, review the available options. So they're saying in the license blade, review the available options. You can click on it. So here all of that, versions, snapshots. If you want to generate SAS, you have this, and SAS we'll talk about it. How if you want to access the file, this would be one way to do that. You'll be generating a SAS access token, okay, in a minute. So look, let's review this real quick. So you have the option to download the block, change this access tier. So over here again, permission overview. Okay, just if you click on, there's nothing much there. And then do an edit if you want to edit the file. Let's see what else can you do with it. Okay, those are the things that you can do. So let's we are really pretty much done with our manage our blob storage. So what we have done here, we created a container, we uploaded a file, and at the upload time we created a folder. So let's just go back over here. So you can also click, you can delete the file if you like, change the access tier, acquire lease if you like, all kinds of stuff, create a snapshot. So the last thing, oh maybe not the last. Here's the task 4, manage authentication and authorization. So that's what we were talking about of the SAS key. So let's see. On the license blade on the overview tab, click copy to clipboard button next to the URL entry. So let's see. License plate on the overview tab. So let's make it big. Okay. Let's see if I can. It's not letting me go inside here for whatever reason. So let's go over here. Okay. And I'm gonna go back to container one more time here. Try to go inside here. Okay, I have the licenses blade from here. We want to figure out which uh, key that we want to name on the license blade on the overview tab. So licenses. Okay, this is the licenses blade overview. This is the URL you want to copy. Okay, so copy and put it in some place. So put it in some place. I'm gonna put it in my notepad. Okay. So the next thing that you want to do, open another browser in private mode, and let's see if we can do that. So another in private mode, and if I put the browser in and hit, see what happens, and it says, "Hey, resource not found." It does not exist because I don't have any access to the resource. Okay, you should be presented with the XML format and message setting resource not found or public access not permitted. This is what is expected, as we said, because we have the container that created. It has public access level set to private, no anonymous access. That's how we created the container. So we can close this window. Okay, and return to the browser window showing this license plate and switch to generate SAS tab. So then we're gonna go over here and make that more bigger. Okay, so over here at the bottom, what is our SAS? Generate SAS. So here is what you need to do. So over here, what you need to do on the Generate SAS tab, we are going to specify the following setting. We're gonna, signing key is key one. Okay. Permission, we are only going to give read permissions. You can give all kinds of permissions here: read, add, create, write, delete, all. For now, for this lab, we're only going to give the read permission. Start day, yes, started day. So let's just change it to 27. And then expiry, we're going to expire tomorrow. So that's 29th. And allowed IP address, I'm going to leave it blank. Okay, so that's about it. And then we are going to create our SAS token and the URL. So it created the slash token or slash URL. Okay, now it says that copy to clipboard button on the blob SAS URL entry. Okay, so now blob SAS URL, so copy that one. And now what we'll do, open another browser window using private mode and navigate to the URL. So you can come back over here, another in private, go and paste it, hit enter, and now look at that. It is saying that you can download the file. Okay, and save the file, and now you can open the file. So now you have access to the file. Let's see. Uh, if you're using the Microsoft Edge, you should present it with the license page. If you're using Chrome or something else, you should be able to view the content of the file by downloading it and opening with the notepad. Again, this is expected because now I have the SAS token. Okay, and we can use this to review the file. So let's just put the URL with the SAS token. And if you look at this, what really happening, first we were trying to get to this and I didn't have any token, and over here all that stuff that got created, it really has all the information, like when this key is valid. This is like the start time and the end time is most likely here. Okay, and then key, and I'm only going to be read permission, and the token, everything is here. So this is very sensitive. You do not want to give it to just to everybody, just for security reasons. Now I can close this. Now over here, so we are done with this. So close the in private mode, which we just did. uh, Return to the browser window showing the license plate. From there, navigate back to the container plate. So let's over here. Let's just go back, close this, go back to the container plate, which is here. Okay, which is good. So we are here. Click the switch to Azure AD user account link. So switch to Azure user AD account link. This is what I recommend. Okay, so let's click on this one. And what is going to happen? You can see an error that you changed the authentication method. You do not have permission. Okay. At this point, you do not have permission to change the authentication method at all. Okay. And this is expected. So you do not have permission to list the data of your account with Azure AD. Click to learn more about authentication with AD. This is what is not authorized. So this you cannot do. Okay, we'll teach you how to do that at a later point. So next, what you need to do, you need to go to the IAM so you can do some stuff. So let's go to the access control. Okay, in that access control, you need to assign the correct role. So we're gonna click on the add and then the role assignment. Okay, the role assignment and storage blob data owner. So that is the role that you need. So copy that one, put it over here. So that is the role. Yeah, just choose that one. Okay, then hit next. And then what we'll do, assign to user group or service principal. And over here select a member, and I'm going to select this student user, that's me, and hit enter. And at this time I can create review and assign, and review and assign, then I can do the overview back. So review and assign, and then review and assign. So that is now allowing me to do some stuff with the storage account. Now it may some time. Okay, so now I can go back to our container one more time. Let's see. Now if you click on switch to Azure AD, you are still getting this. So this will go away in about say 5 minutes at most. Okay, it takes a little bit of time to take everything in effect. So I'm just going to give it a minute while it's going on, and we'll take a pause. Once this is fixed, we're going to go and take a look at the file share. It's been about 3 minutes, and I also signed out and signed back in. So again, before I try this, if you go to access control and you can check the view my access, it should tell you that you are the service administrator. You have full access to all the resources in the subscription, and this particular you also have the storage blob data owner role. Now I'm the administrator plus I also say that hey, in this account, give me this. Okay, so that allows full access to this blob data store. So let's come back now and go back to the container and click on this, and look at that. Now it didn't complain. So now I am authentication method is Azure AD user account, and that is what I recommend all the time. With access key, uh, you do not have a non-repudiation, so that access key can be used by anybody. With user AD, it's much stronger authentication and authorization. So always use Azure AD if you can. All right, now going back to our lab then. Uh, so this is we have done. So we have now changed our access from the access key to the Azure AD account. So now you can go back in here, click on the licenses, and just get to the file. Okay, let's go back in here. The next thing that we're gonna do is create and configure an Azure file share. Now, file share is a little different than Azure Blob Storage. File share you can use as the NFS file share and things like that. Or in this one, if you want really like NFS file share, you wanna just mount it something. You can also mount the blob storage, but there is some limitation. A preferred, your recommended way is to create a file share. So what we'll do, go in here to your storage account that you created. Under storage, instead of containers, just click on the file share. Okay, that will let you create a file share inside this container. So click on file share name, and we're gonna create and take this name, AC104 whatever share. Okay, and then all you need to do, hit connect. So right now you can choose a whole bunch: transaction optimize, hot and cool. I'm just gonna go with the default and then create, and that will create the account for me, and it just instantly got created, right? So once this is created, let me make this smaller. So click on the newly file share, so click on this one, and here is the connect button right there. You can click on the connect. Okay, on the connect blade, ensure the Windows tab is selected. So here you can connect to the share now, like, or you can really mount it using Windows, Linux, or even Mac. Okay, and you can even provide a drive later, like for example you are trying to connect it from the Windows. Below you will find the gray text box, so this is the script that you will be running. Okay, to mount this, uh, so copy this whole thing in the clipboard, and always try to use this copy to clipboard button here in the Azure portal. What we'll do, we'll go to the virtual machine that we have created at the very beginning in our course. Okay, so we'll go here, look for virtual machines. Okay, and there should be a virtual machine named that VA 07VM0, and we are going to log into the machine. Okay, let me see, this is the IP address, so let me bring up RDP real quick. And so options, and I already forgot the name of the user. Let's see, what was the name of the user? Run command. Oh, it's first is asking you to run, just run, use the run command to run. So you can run the Parcel script. Either you can log into the machine and open a Parcel shell and then run it, or you can also uh, run it from the portal. So just type run and use the run command. And in here, what you do, run a Parcel script. You click on that. Okay, so we are here. And here we are going to paste. Oh, so we had to copy that. I didn't copy it, so let me go back one more time. Go back to my storage account to the file share, and file share, then connect Windows, and I'm going to select it one more time. Now I'm going to come back to the virtual machine, then do the run command, and PowerShell script. There we go. And now I got the PowerShell script, and I'm the admin, and I'm gonna run it. So what is going to happen? It is it has everything that it needed, all how to mount it and everything, and it will. And if it couldn't mount, then it will give you this error message, unable to restart your storage account. So what it's doing is going to create a new drive named Z in your machine, and it's going to add this particular share. Okay, and all of that stuff code that you don't just need to know. You just need to just copy that one and come here and run it. And you can also actually, as I said, you can open up your virtual machine, go inside there, open the PowerShell, and then run it from there. You can do it as well. So here it's still the script execution is progress. Give it a minute, and then so this is where we are right now. So now verify that the script completed successfully, and over here it says everything is good, no error message and nothing. So it just added this particular share as Z to the machine. Replace the content of the parcel script with the following. So now what we'll do, we are gonna do this thing. So replace the whole thing and copy this and let's see, come back over here. I have, yeah, so this is what we have. So it's gonna do in within the Z is gonna create a new folder and it's gonna create a new file. Okay, so let's just run this one, see what happens. And it's again, give it a minute to uh, for the script to execute. So what is really happening right now? So in that, within that virtual machine, within this Z directory, you're creating a folder. Inside the folder, you're creating a blank file. Really, that's what is going on. And we want to verify that the script actually completed successfully. And navigate back to share, click refresh and verify that the folder appears in the list of folders. So this is what you are doing from inside the virtual machine. Although you are using portal, you're really doing it inside the virtual machine. So now go back to your Azure file share storage account and here, and then if you go to file share, those folders should show up in here. Okay, and there you go. So that is the file. Okay, that got created, and this is the share. Okay, in this one, this is the folder got created, and within the folder that file got created. Uh, so we had really done with all of that. Let's see, we have only one more, but before we do that, I really want to show you that you should go to the virtual machine and verify everything that is happening. So before we do anything, let's go to the virtual machine one more time. Okay, I want to show you that you actually should be able to see. Okay, copy, open your RDP, okay, and provide the IP address, show options, and then we need to figure out the username. And the username that we have, let's just quickly look at our username, and that we can find from our parameter file. Okay, so let's open the parameter file real quick and do a ls. We still have the parameters. In the parameter, I'm gonna do code and then AZ104 and then P and then open it real quick, and I'm gonna look. So the admin username is student, so copy this, and in my RDP file I'm gonna provide this and hit connect, and I need the password. I'm gonna copy the password again from here. This is gonna be the password, and I'm gonna provide the password, and now it's asking for the certificate. I say okay. So what I'm doing really, I'm just logging into the virtual machine because I want to show you that in this virtual machine, you should be able to see that drive that is connected. So if I go to the drive now, and it may be a little slow, so give it your time. And if I go to the network, okay, I should be able to see a Z drive. Okay, this PC. So network discovery is not turned on. I'm gonna say turn on network discovery. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, okay. So go to this PC. Okay, so C, D, and this drive looks like temporarily it's not accessible for whatever reason. Okay, so that is not what I was expecting. I was expecting that this one would be accessible. So let this turn on, and what I'll do, let's see, I'm still in this machine. I'll open up the PowerShell from here, and I'm gonna run it as an administrator. Okay, I wanna know why this is not there. All right, let it open, And while we go back, do the lab, remaining of the lab. Okay, so let it open, and let's come back over here. So what we have seen so far, this script and everything, they really ran from inside the virtual machine. Although we were using Portal, so I'm expecting that this would work just fine for us. But for whatever reason, if I come back over here, it says our drive is not connected. Right? That's what it said. Not connected. Is there a disconnect, reconnect? I'm just trying to see if that's anything in here. Okay. Okay. So there is nothing there. Okay. What I'll do another one more time. What is my partial? Oh, I thought I opened the partial from here. Did not open my partial. Okay. Let's try it in a different way. Windows partial. Run as a visitor. Attempt to perform initiative to have an option of the partial failed. That's interesting. So what I'll do, I'm still trying to debug a little bit before I finish the last one. So I'm gonna go back to our storage account. Let's see, where is my storage account? I have too many things open. Looks like. Hold on. All right, what I'm trying to do, I'm back to the file storage. Okay, in the file storage, I'm back over here to the connect, and instead of choosing Z, let's choose M. I'm gonna again copy this one, and I'm just gonna try to run this from inside here and see if I can do that. Okay, did it paste? Doesn't look like it pasted anything. Copy this one again. It's taking a lot of time. Just give me a minute. Alright, my machine is completely stuck, so I'm just gonna restart this one and review what happens when it restarted. Okay, now this is important. I can go to the next section, but I really want to show you what happens from inside the VM before I move and go to and finish the last section. So please stay with me. Thank you. And I'm just restarting the machine and re-log in to the same server that we have created, where I expect that everything should show up and your Z drive should automatically be attached. Okay, just close this because I don't need this one. We go back to the file store and let's see the file store what it's telling me. This time there's nothing attached at all. CD, that other drive that we have attached, it's not even showing up. Nothing is here, which is not too bad. So let's just come here, go back to your PowerShell. Let's see if we have any luck opening it up this time. So let's click on this. Last time this just said, loading and it never loaded. So this time at least it's got loaded properly. So what I have already done, I think I have already pasted that in our desktop and I have the code. Oh, the code is gone. I thought I had the code pasted, but since the code is gone, what we'll need to do, go back to our storage account. So let's see, here's storage account, and again we're gonna do the same thing for the file storage. We're gonna choose, let's choose a different name, say m, and copy this. Now go back to here. In here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna, well, let's just do this and paste the whole code in here and then try to run it. So if this code is successful, then I am going to have a new drive which will show up as M. I'm sorry about the background noise, But now what you see here, now this time we have done the same work from inside the virtual machine, and it says this got created. So let's see if that's a true statement or not. So from here, and if I go to my PC, now see that it's actually got attached properly. So if I now go in here, so that's the folder that we created. Okay, that's the file that we created. Now, since we have this available, we can do some more stuff. And I want to make sure that you can do this. And I'm gonna say test from VM. Okay, so now if I do this, this is inside the VM, but you should see that if you go back to our storage file share here in our Azure environment, you should be able to see that particular folder now. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. So now come back over here, go to file share. Inside the share, what I'm expecting, there we go. So now you see your VM is now properly connected. And do this please for me, although the lab here is not didn't let you ask you to do this. I think it's important that you should do it and make sure that you know how to mount it properly. Okay, so we have done all of it now. So the last thing that we need to do, manage the network access for Azure Storage. So the last task in this one, in the portal, we're gonna go down to the Azure Storage account, security and network section. So let's just see over here, make it small again. So over here, what we'll do, let's just close this. Let's go here. You see the security and network section. That is where we're going to be working on in this particular section. Click on networking. So click on networking and click on firewall and the virtual networks. And firewall virtual networks is right here. And here, instead of all networks, click on selected network. And that is how you are restricting access. Okay. Review and configuration setting that becomes available once the option is enabled. So over here you are saying you can add a virtual network, you can add existing virtual network, you can add your IP address and things like that. For this one, I want to only restrict this storage account access from my IP address. So this is the IP address. You can just click on that one and open another browser window by using a in private. So let's just once you do that, you save it. Okay, so now if you notice, the this address range is now added to the particular virtual firewall. And over here in another browser, I want to in private mode navigate to the blob SAS URL we have generated previously. So we have already created this blob URL. So let's just copy this one, create another in private mode, and let's go there. Okay, now I still have access. Okay, it should be presented with the content. Okay, this is expected because we are connecting from your IP. Close the in private mode, return to the browser window. Uh, Blade in the Azure portal, open the Azure Cloud Shell by clicking the icon. The prompter select either bash. From the Cloud Shell, run the following to attempt to download the command. So what we'll do here, so let's close this. And again over here, we're gonna go to the Cloud Shell. So really what you're really trying is you're gonna try to download the file from inside this Cloud Shell. And the cloud has a different IP. And the command that you want to run is invoke web request and then the blob URL. So just type the command invoke and dash web request dash URI, and then I can paste the URL that I already have. And if you hit enter, now it's saying that hey, we can do that. Okay, because this IP address that I'm running this cloud shell is not excuse me, not allowed from the firewall. Let's say the firewall that we configured, I said only the IP address of my particular virtual machine is able to access. Another thing, make sure that you are using the quotation mark with the URL. Once you have that, you can run this, and you should get this authorization failure request. Okay, you are not authorized to download the file. That's what you have got. Okay, authorization failure. That is expected. You are not authorized to access to the file from inside this portal. You can only go from the client machine that you have allowed in your firewall. So again, if you look at it, your firewall, this is the only IP that can access to your network. So this is how you can secure your connection. All right, that is really the end of the lab. The other thing you should be doing, you should delete everything. Okay, so you can run this particular command in your cloud shell. One more time, and run this command. That will give you all the things that you have created. Okay, and to get rid of all of it and delete everything, I will recommend that you do that. So you're gonna get all the resources and then remove as a resource group, force as job. Do that. So that will clean up all the resources for you. All right, thank you for watching, and once again sorry about the background, but I hope this lab actually helped you. Thank you. Bye bye.